Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. 1 minute away from opening bell. But today we got a weird declaration from the Bank of England, who just decided to declare that that the UK is in fact in recession. Something that Fed Chair Powell refuses to do. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about people flocking back into Bitcoin and crypto because of it. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com, and make sure you follow my other channels as well. Good morning, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the start of fall. The autumn equinox is today, the start of fall. And there's the bell. So hopefully this is the start of something good. In the US right now, about even. It was greener, and now it's about even. Oh, look at this. Robinhood jumps after report that SEC will not ban payment for order flow. Interesting. That's breaking news. But overall today, much better day than yesterday. So Bitcoin is back above 19,000. You look at overall market cap, still slightly down, but you have some good movers today, including my beloved XRP, up 10%, and Algorand and several others are coming back strong, and that is good. That's what I want to see, because we've been how should I put this? We've been so fearful, right, about this guy, about what he's going to do. You know, he said some scary things yesterday, got me really depressed yesterday because of some of the forecasting with how high rates will go, where unemployment will be, the softening landing is not going to be there anymore, right? There's a lot of stuff that he said. It was just very, very scary indeed. But one thing that he refuses to talk about is whether or not, oops, I forgot to change my screen here. The one thing that he forgot or he refuses to talk about is the fact that the U.S. is in recession. We're in a technical recession. 2 GDP quarters showing negative growth. We are in recession. But even when pressed yesterday, if unemployment goes to 4.5%, 4.6%, doesn't that mean we will be in recession? Even when pressed with that, he still refuses to talk about it. So there's something there, right? There's something there. Powell is not going to admit ever that we are in recession. However, that's why it's very, very shocking this morning that Bank of England declares it. Today, they raised the rates by 50 basis points instead of 75 basis points like the U.S. Many anticipate it'll be 75 basis points. UK's inflation is worse than the U.S. It's 9.9% versus U.S.'s 8.2%. But the justification from the Bank of England is this. They believe UK is in recession, that GDP growth is going to be negative, and because they're in recession, they don't want to cause more damage. Even though they want to fight inflation, they do not want to kill the economy. Is that the right move? Or is Powell and US being more hawkish and front-loading the right move? Don't know at this point. We don't know. You're choosing between a rock and a hard place, right? Do you fight inflation with extreme rate hikes, or do you do lower rate hikes? Don't know. But it did help DXY. DXY was above 111, heading to 112 yesterday. So DXY actually came down a little bit. So that's good. The good thing about DXY rising is it seems to have slowed down a little bit. The DXY is not skyrocketing like before, where it seems like every day it was just like making another point, another point, another point, another point. Does seem like it's slowing down a bit, and that's what we want. When the DXY slows down, when the strength of the dollar slows down slightly, that's when some of that money flows into other things like equities and crypto, and that's what we want to see. So that's the big news of today. But of course, there's other good things to talk about, one of which is the fact that people are looking for something better. This is the big point I made last night. People are looking for something better. People are sick of hearing monetary policy and what central banks or banks around the world are doing, sick of hearing forecasting and inflation and all this stuff, right? People just want something better, which is why people turn to Bitcoin. So, good thing that Bitcoin is still being gobbled up. We see that 3.12 billion in Bitcoin bought in the last 24 hours because more and more people recognize that Bitcoin is just something better, that something that we can depend on, that we can't just artificially inflate and do all this, apply all this policy to it. It's governed by code. It's already done, and it's the safest network and most secure network we have today also. So a lot of the metrics that show Bitcoin's strength and fundamentals have not changed. Addresses sending to exchanges reached a 14-month low. Like right now, who would want to be selling? First of all, the price is down, so it's not smart to be selling. But second of all, as more and more people learn about Bitcoin, they're going to refuse to sell, like me, because this is the better way, better asset. And then, of course, you have metrics like this, 0.1 Bitcoins and 1 Bitcoin, right? All going up, skyrocketing, all-time highs, right? More and more people are turning to Bitcoin, and not only turning to Bitcoin, but holding longer. Supply lasts active 5 years, meaning that number of Bitcoin out there not touched in 5 years continues to go high, about 25%. These are all fantastic stuff that's happening right now. Despite the weaker price, despite all the headwinds, more and more people are turning to Bitcoin. That's what I want to see. All right, what else is going on today? Well, let me refresh. Are we opening in the green? Right now, no, we're flat. One other thing actually two other things relating to what's going on with inflations and rate cuts and so forth, right? But look at this headline too. Turkey cuts interest rates. They cut interest rates as their country struggles with 80% inflation. 80%. If you thought 9.9% was bad or 8.2% was bad, think about if you're suffering from 80% inflation. And even with 80% inflation, Turkey thinks it's a good idea to cut their rate down by 1 percentage point. Hopefully, this is the worst case scenario. Hopefully, in the U.S., we never see something like this, ever, or it's just a destruction of the dollar, right? There are a lot of countries that's really struggling with inflation. We think it's bad, but there are many countries that are struggling with inflation like this, hyperinflation. And guess what? Those citizens, they're turning to something better. They have to, otherwise they see their money, just like Argentina, they see their money just disappear right in front of them. You have to seek something better. Also, I've been making a big deal about, you know what? Why don't we try to improve as a whole, try to improve supply chain issues, right? One of the things that we're really, really struggling with are chips, semiconductor chips. This is the reason why cars are so expensive. Manufacturers can't produce cars, and many other electronics have gone up through the roof because of the chips. We don't have enough. And this is interesting. So it looks like United States, South Korea, Japan are forming an alliance to secure their semiconductor supply chain to stop China from the cutting edge of industry. So I guess there's this growing fear that China is starting to pull ahead in the semiconductor space, or at least buying as much as they can. So now the US, South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan are forming an alliance to try to stop that and secure our own chips. Interesting. Maybe this will help with some of the supply chain issues that we've been facing. It's been 2 years and we're still seeing a lot of this. Here's a good example of why we are suffering this. And I talked to my neighbor who happens to be in commercial banking. And he gave me this example yesterday. And this is one of the reasons why supply chain issues is so bad. Because during the last 2 years, he would deal with a lot of businesses that go to him and kind of talk about the supply chain issues. And a lot of these companies need parts. And the parts, of course, are delayed. So they would be given estimates about, if you order this many parts, you'll get about 50% within 6 months. And then the 6-month estimate became 12 months. So obviously a lot of businesses trying to protect themselves would overorder on purpose because they're thinking, okay, I order twice as much and twice as fast, then eventually I'll get the parts I need, right? And I'll worry about the rest later. So unfortunately, a lot of businesses did that, especially with the free, basically, money they got from PPP loans. But then when things improved, like during the last few months, they realized they overordered. So then they just started canceling all these orders. So during that time, when all these orders were coming in, what did the manufacturers do? Well, they jacked up the price because they can't fulfill the orders. Now, what's happening is all the orders are being canceled. So all the preparations they have been working on, including hiring more people, maybe creating another site or another plant or starting another assembly line, like these kind of things that they were working on, that goes out the window. And now these manufacturers are feeling the heat. So, there's a lot of complicated issues that still need to be worked out, but unfortunately, it's going to take more time. But anyways, hopefully we get through the supply chain issues. It just seems like it's never ending. All right, now as for other crypto news, well, let's talk about XRP, my favorite crypto of all time. The reason why it's going up is because the Chamber of Digital Commerce, which is it's not an official agency, but they're like a lobbying group. They have received approval to kind of help with the Ripple case, which, of course, Ripple loves. They need all the help they can get right now because SEC and Gensler, they don't want Ripple to win. Quite honestly, they don't want Ripple to win. They want Ripple to lose, and they can use this to attack everyone else. So I'm rooting for Ripple. I'm rooting for XRP and Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson to win this big lawsuit. So this is the reason why it's going up. And recently, the CFTC also visited Ripple's office. So people are putting 2 and 2 together. Maybe they are all working together to build a case because even the CFTC hates the SEC. Think about that. Another agency, regulatory agency, hates the SEC and can't stand Gary. So people are putting 2 and 2 together that Ripple may be winning this with all the help that they're getting. But keep in mind, Gary does have a secret weapon. He could declare all of a sudden that Ethereum is a security. And then that throws the whole defense from Ripple back at them and into the gutter, basically. So hopefully that's not the case. Right now, Gary is trying to indicate that that's the way things are, that Ethereum and anything on top of Ethereum is owned by the U.S. and is a security, but we know that's not the case. It's just that no one has challenged it so far, but we'll see. This is the reason why XRP is going up, and hopefully they do win this case. I'm rooting for them. All right, besides XRP, the other big news is Cardano. Cardano's big Vassal hard fork upgrade is here, and it's going to take about 5 days, I think. It's going to take 5 days. It's not like Ethereum where it just immediately gets done. But this will bring a new era to Cardano. I've been talking about this quite some time, and it does seem like some whales are taking advantage right before. And interesting fact that Cardano surpasses BNB and Avalanche with 12 billion stake. Well, actually, I don't think that's a surprise. A large amount of Cardano is staked. So actually, that's not a surprise. But the big day is here, so we'll see what happens to Cardano afterwards. And I saw Algorand pumping today. I don't have any Algorand news other than they went through an upgrade of their own recently, became much faster. I think they could process like 6,000 transactions per day, or per second now, not per day, per second now. And they do have several other partnerships with FIFA and several other big associations and brands, especially in the NFT space. So I don't know if there's anything else that came out with Algorand. There is the Helium news, which some of you guys have been following. Helium, basically, they are moving to Solana for sure. It's been voted upon. And they do have this big partnership with T-Mobile. They're coming out with their own phones. And that phone will be able to switch between Helium's network and T-Mobile network, which is pretty interesting, pretty cool. I think that's pretty much it. If you're an NBA fan and you're a freaking billionaire, the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, both teams are for sale. So if you happen to have $2 billion in the bank, now's your chance to buy your own sports teams. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's talk. Let's have some Q&A. Normal dude, appreciate it. Ian asks, what if XRP loses? Is no one considering this? Well, right now, if you ask everyone, I think that's true. I don't think anyone is considering the fact that XRP could lose. I think the chance, if I had to give it a chance, I would be like 60-40. I think the chance of Ripple winning is greater than losing, but there's still a high chance that they can lose. And if they lose, we'll see. I don't think Ripple's going to go away. They have more than enough money to comply with the SEC, and there'll be a lot of regulations and hoops that they have to jump through, but they will still operate. But most likely, Ripple will seek to remove Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen because both of them are accused of selling security tokens. So they would probably force them to leave the company, which would probably be disastrous for Ripple. All right, let's see. Let me scroll through the comments here. A lot of people, a lot of XRP army in here today. Let's see. FIFA announced their NFT marketplace to be available. That's probably why Algorand went up. Alex, thanks for sharing that. I know FIFA has a big Algorand partnership because their NFTs will be on Algorand. So if they announced it, it'll be available this month, then that would make sense. Yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Right now, though, I don't know how many people care about NFTs. That's the thing. I don't know. It's not a hot market right now, but it could be. It could be when things come back up again, right? But FIFA, soccer, World Cup, all this stuff, it's crazy around the world. Can Steve Ballmer buy another NBA team? That's an interesting point. I don't think so. I think the NBA would stop that because then, you know, you could potentially collude with yourself, right? You can make trades and control a lot of. You could dictate a lot of things by owning two teams instead of one. So I'm pretty sure there are rules in place where if you're like an ultra rich billionaire, you can't buy two teams within the same league. I'm thinking that's the case. I'm not sure. But there have been many, like Paul Allen, who was a co-founder of Microsoft too. Unfortunately, he passed away. He owned many sports teams from Seattle, but not within the same league. He owned the Trailblazers, the Seahawks, and I think he owned the baseball team too, and I'm not even sure who they are. Seattle Mariners. Wait, no, that's the Florida Mariners. I don't know Seattle's baseball team, but he owned them all. DXY is going to be flirting 112, 110 all weekend, going to be a little bumpy. Well, that's not what I want to hear, but DXY is, I showed this last night. You look at, if you zoom out on a DXY, yeah, it goes up and down, but overall trend has been up, 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 up. It's been slowing down, though, so that's the thing. Slowing down. And I do think that DXY starts losing strength as other countries take inflation more seriously. Like this morning, Bank of America is raising rates, so overall people see that as a good thing, as the central bank, doing something about inflation. So if we see more of that, other countries or zones taking inflation more seriously, raising rates, that could decrease the strength of the dollar and bring it down. We'll see. It's still way too high at 111 and not really moving. Oh, I was right. Mariners. I had it. Good. I didn't even know that. Sheeb is coiling up for the biggest pamp of our lives. It went through that already in 2021, so you probably missed it. Sheeb, I believe, was the fastest growing crypto ever in crypto's history for any project in terms of how much it grew. And within that time frame, I don't think anything has ever come close to Sheeb. So it already went through that. Now, if you're saying that it's going to go through that again, no, it's not going to have that kind of growth once again. If it does, it'll be like 10 times bigger than Bitcoin. So that's probably not going to happen. But can it go up? Can it, regain its previous high? Sure. I think that's possible. There's a lot of things being developed within Sheeb's ecosystem, but don't expect the same kind of like million X growth going forward. I had to jinx XRP at the start of the stream. What, did the XRP start coming down? No, it's still doing good. Hey, I've been saying I'm rooting for XRP to win that lawsuit. Or Ripple to win that lawsuit. I do not want to see SEC win. That would be bad. Very, very bad. Tiberius says, I'm loving MEXC. Been using it more than KuCoin past weeks. My favorite leverage 10x and below. Hey, why don't you try their 125x? See how you do with that. I will say that the exchange, I've been receiving positive reviews on the exchange. I dab with it now, right? I've been talking about how KuCoin has been very restrictive recently. KuCoin used to be one of my go-to exchanges, not anymore because of how restrictive they have become. So been dabbing with MEXC more, but also I've been using Binance more, or Binance.us at least, a lot. But yeah, unfortunately, because of all the fear about U.S. Treasury retaliating and states getting real serious about regulations, a lot of exchanges have like really restricted themselves to U.S. citizens. Hopefully that trend doesn't continue. Ricky, how's my knees doing? My knee is doing bad, man. Last week I really worked it, and then it turned out to be worse. So I gotta take this call. Love the Top G haircut. I appreciate it. What's your thoughts on Portal's metaverse? I'm no idea. Here's the thing about my knee. I kind of got distracted by my phone, but I don't know what I could do about my knee. Like the more I work it out, like seriously work it out, trying to strengthen it, it gets worse. Like now it's like so stiff. I could feel there's a lot of liquid buildup inside. My kneecap or something's popping every time I take the stairs. It's like one of those things, like you want to improve it, so you work at it, but then it just gets worse. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Go on a juice fast. I don't. It's mucus buildup. I don't know if that's gonna help it. Joseph, what kind of surgery? I had surgery on it, man. There's no more surgery to be done other than a full knee replacement. I had an ACL replacement like 10 years ago, and I had some meniscus tearing that had to be removed. So, I mean, I had surgery on it. So unless I, do a full-blown knee replacement, which I am not going to do, yeah, there's not much to do. I had a couple shots, like the stem cell thing I tried, and the other shot, to reduce inflammation. All that is temporary. If I don't work out, and it's fine. But if I work it out, this is what happens. Cut it off, man. Life is too short. No, it's not that. It's not that bad. Not that bad. I'd rather have my knee. Didn't Kobe have papaya juice injected in his knee? I've never heard that. I don't know. But yeah, Kobe played professional basketball for like 18 years or whatever. So I think he had a little worse than me. Your knee is like the economy. You're like FUD, Chair Powell. Stop futzing with it. Let it heal. That's a good analogy. That's a pretty good analogy. All right, this chat turned into like a health chat, and everyone became a doctor, and everyone became a knee expert. Let's see. Well, Bitcoin, unfortunately, is down a little bit, under 19. The U.S. market turning red again. It started out in green, but Coal CEO is going to be forced out. Yeah. Not good for Coles. Take 2 turmeric pills a day. I have been taking it. I've been taking all the pills. Turmeric. What's that other one? There's a couple other ones I'm taking. glucosamine and collagen. And man, I take like 30 pills a day. It's like not really helping at all. All right, guys, enough about my knee. Overall, let's conclude. You know what? UK, at least their bank declares they're in recession. Is the US in recession? I would say so. Still a lot of shenanigans going on right now. My new favorite word, shenanigans. But that's why people are learning more about Bitcoin and crypto and turning to Bitcoin and crypto. So stay strong, my friends. Don't give up, and we will get through this together. All right? Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And in the meantime, check out my other channels. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. And since XRP did so well today, I feel compelled. I have to play this. So take a look.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.